Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So where are we now? We are in the verse 250, right? 251 actually. The attitude in meditation. Okay. So we will chant 252, 251 again. Mritkaryam sakalam ghatadi Satatam mrunmatram mevahitam. What is that? Meva? Bhitam. There are some mistakes here in this book. Tadvat sajjanitam sadatmakam idam sanmatra mevakilam yasman nasti sataparam kimapi tatsatyam sa atma swayam tasmat tattvamasi prashantam amalam brahmadvayam yat param. So morning we have seen Mritkaryam sakalam ghadati sadadam mrunmatrameva, meaning whatever is made out of mud, all the mud pots are nothing but mud only. Similarly, tadvat sajjanitam, whatever has come out of this truth, the true self, sadatmakam, true self, idam sanmatrameva, everything is sanmatrameva. Whatever is here is the truth only, is the self only. So you can experience only Brahman. Nothing else you can experience. Because everything is Brahman. Suppose if you think something is other than Brahman, it is all false. It's only your imagination. Yasman nasti sataparam kimapi. Therefore, there is nothing else apart from that supreme truth. Tat satyam, that is the truth. Sa atma swayam, and that is your own self. Tasma tattvamasi, therefore you are that Brahma tattvam. What is that? Prashantam, where there is no agitation, there are no thought modification. Prashantam, quiet, serene, peaceful, amalam, pure, brahmadvayam yat param, that which is one without the second, that is your true self. So, if we can shift our attention from the form of the pot to the actual material out of which the pot was made, that is the mud, then that is it. So the shift of attention from the matter to the spirit, meaning from the names and forms to that substratum which is a pure self. So this is the spiritual sadhana. For that no physical activity is required. Even no very serious mental activity is required. It is just shift of attention or just the shift of vision. That is why our Acharya used to say changing the focal length. Of your vision from the world to the self. That is it. And if you are convinced that everything is Brahman, then what is there to meditate also? Open-eyed meditation. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you taste, whatever you touch, whatever you feel, everything is Brahman only. There is nothing other than Brahman. Then what will you meditate now? What will you reject? What will you accept? See, only when you see yourself apart from the whole, and you see yourself as a Vyakti, independent entity, and then all the other things as fascinating in the world, then neti and all. But when everything is Brahman, then where to negate what? So there is nothing to negate actually. So in Ashtavakra Gita, that is what Ashtavakra says. What will you reject, what will you accept? When everything is Brahman, what will you accept or what will you reject? There is nothing to reject, nothing to accept. But just now, Swamiji, you said to reject. When you are identified with the body, mind and see something else other than the Brahman, that has to be rejected. That is Mrisha, false. That is Kalpitam. So the hammering is so severe that you are not allowed to see anything except Brahman. And when you come to Bhagavan, he will not allow you to move away from the self. Wherever you go, he says, come back to the self. So that is how it is. So everything is Brahman only now. This we have seen in the morning also. Now moving to the next verse, 252. Nidra kalpita desha kala vishaya Jnatradi sarvam yatha Mitya tadvadihapi jagrati jagat Swagnya jagat swagnya karyattvataha jagat swajnana karyattvataha yasmadevamidam sharira karana pranahamadhyapyasat tasmat tattvamasi prashantamamalam Brahmadvayam yat param Nidra kalpita desha kala vishaya Jnatradi sarvam yatha Mitya tadvadihapi jagrati jagat Swajnana karyattvataha Yasmadevamidam sharira karana Pranahamadhyapyasat Tasmat tattvamasi prashantamamalam Brahmadvayam yat param. How beautiful. Nidra kalpita desha kala vishaya Jnatradi sarvam. What Nidra kalpita means, it's not actually Nidra kalpita. While you are sleeping, whatever you dream, it means, it's not deep sleep state, it's not explained here. It is a dream only. So while you are sleeping, whatever you see, kalpita, whatever you imagine, desha, the space, the place, whatever you imagine, kala, the time, vishaya, the objects, jnatra, you are also there knowing all those things. Everything, sarvam, mithya, it is all unreal. Not while you are dreaming, you know this. When you wake up, you know that all this is just nothing. Mind created. Tadvad, similarly, ihapi jagrati, in the waking state also, jagat swa ajnana karyatvataha. Meaning what? This world which is seen, swa ajnana karyatvataha. It is because of the ignorance of your own self, everything is seen, like in the dream. Yasmad evam idam sharira karana prana ahamadi api asat. Therefore, whatever you perceive as sharira, the body, karana, the inner instruments, and prana, ahamadi, aham, I, this ego self, api asat, it is all false. Therefore, tasmat, tattvamasi, you are that. What is that? Prashantamamalam, you are that peaceful, serene, pure Brahmadvayam, you are that Brahma Tattvam which is supreme. So, very clear. Whatever you see in the dream, when you wake up, you know everything is just chuma, all false, unreal. Why you say false, unreal? Please understand. Because no corresponding objects in the world outside. Because we have been in the bed only, dreaming. When we get up, we find all those objects were not in the waking world. It was just in our imagination. Is that not so? Similarly, these Mahatmas, when they wake up to their highest, they find this world not to be outside as a concrete, objects not to be outside as a reality. They say it is all just coming and going in the consciousness. That's what they say, it's all part of the mind. Consciousness, whenever the reflected consciousness is there, reflecting, all the objects are there. Otherwise, nothing. So they see all these are mind's projection. So they say it is all mithya. When you are awakened to the state, it is all mithya. So therefore, what we have to do, understanding that all this is false, we should not identify with all these things, the body, mind, etc., ahamdi, etc. And whatever they are showing you, you should not believe in, because the instruments are faulty. Whatever they are showing is imperfect. It's not the absolute truth. So you should not believe in it. So therefore, if you give up all this, what all should be given up? Nothing. Only these three should be given up. The experienced object, the experiencer, and the experience. That is all you have to give up. Nothing else. We are not asking for anything else. Only for these three things we are asking to give up. What is that? The experienced, the experiencer, and all the experiences. If you give it up, there you are. You are the self. And what? Prashantam. You are not touched by anything. Brahmadvayam, yat param, tat param, yat param. So you are that. When it comes to dream, we are able to appreciate it. But when it comes to waking, it is difficult to appreciate, because Swamiji, dream is only alpam. For some time you dream and you get up. And the next day you dream, you do something else, not associated with this. But in the waking, every day you get up, you see the same people around, the same places. How can it be dream, Swamiji? This is too much. Since because we are pavam, can you say anything to us or what? See, now, why the dream is supposed to be unreal? Because the objects are not actually available in the world outside. It is only the mind projected. It is only in the mind. Similarly, when you awaken to the higher self, you know the objects are not outside. It just arises in the consciousness and it goes back into the consciousness. Almost it means it is part of the mind only. Because the pure consciousness has got nothing in it. Only the reflected consciousness which projects everything. So when the consciousness is there, not there, it's gone. So this you can see. So therefore it is said, it is not, the world of objects are not outside. It is just part of you. So therefore, how can you say this person is somebody else and he has got a different life and I am somebody else, I have got a different life, everything is one. So from that standpoint, everything is erased and you are left with only one. That is your own self, which cannot be negated. That Brahma Advayam, that non-dual self you are. இதுக்கு மேல என்ன கிளியரா சொல்ல முடியும்? So Manduke Karika, in Karika, Gaudapada says, what is the difference between the dream and the waking? There also experiencer, experienced experience. Here also experiencer, experienced experience. What is the difference? Tell me, he's asking. Without the experiencer, there is no experience. In the dream also, in the waking also. So all the experience depends on the experiencer. So that is what it's meant by mind. When you inquire who is the experiencer, Manasam tukyum margane krite naiva manasam, the experiencer is not. When the experience himself is not, where is the question of experienced, which is protected by the experiencer? When the experiencer himself is not. See, this is the breakthrough, I tell you. The very experiencer who is searching for the truth is found to be not. Then, see, even if you say the world is unreal, it is okay. But the person who is living, kicking, alive, he is not. He is not means what? He is not there. It's not he is false also, he is not there at all. He is only appearing to be there. That is why he says false, false. But actually speaking, he is not. அப்புறம் எப்படி சுவாமிஜி? அப்படிதான். எப்படின்னு கேட்க முடியாது. அப்படிதான். For this, Bhagavan narrates a beautiful story. Those days, olden days, only one big radio in one panchayat. Not nowadays, not like nowadays, every house has got a TV and all those stuff. Those days, very rare commodity. The radio would be very big, it should be kept in a room like such a vacuum tube, what they say? Vacuum tubes or something they say. Adamar perusu perusu ellam, big, huge walls and all. So all these villagers, they get along, they get together in the evenings and they go listen to the music. Sometimes the news comes and everything comes. They are very happy about it. One curious fellow thought, who is this inside the radio, singing, talking, everything he is doing? But I am unable to see him. And there seems to be a lady also inside. How come in this dabba, there is a space for the lady, for the gent, everybody is there. So I want to see it. So that night when everybody has gone to sleep, he had gone in there and opened the radio and found nobody. Hari Rama, how come this radio is speaking when there is nobody? How come the radio is singing when there is nobody? Yes, the radio can sing without anybody. The radio can speak without anybody. How? It is how it is. Don't stretch this example. Somebody is relaying from the radio station, blah, blah, blah. Don't. You are intelligent, we know. So here also, inside nobody. But how come the seeing is happening, the hearing is happening, and then the feeling is happening, the thinking is happening, and then the reactions are also coming out? How come? It's possible. Therefore our Acharya says, experience without the experiencer. When you identify with the self, there the Vyakti is gone. Only the pure self is there, but without anybody, everything is happening. That is why when you think I am the doer, you are a fool. Because without anybody, everything is happening. How come, Swamiji? Adhan idella Mayajala Vidyai madri irukku. When you realize the self, it is so ashcharyavat pashyati. So ashcharyavat. Sarpra means astonished. There is nobody here. If you yourself are not there, what to talk about God? I honestly ask you, if there is a God who is not going to help you in any way, who is not going to give you anything, will you ever go to him? Or kadavul irkarpa, நீ வேணா போய் ஒரு கும்பிடு, you can go and pray to him, but he will not give you anything. He will not protect you. அப்படியா? Such a useless God, who wants? I go to God for not for God's sake. I go to God for my sake. So only God gives me something, helps me in some way or other, at least gives me moksha, I go to Him. When there is a God who cannot do anything for me, how should I, why should I go to Him? How does it matter? So, God is there because we believe that He may be of some use to us. If I myself am not, then who cares about God, whether He is there or not? Right? என்ன சுவாமி தீக்காக்கார மாதிரி பேசுறீங்க? Tika means, DMK people. DMK people. Meaning what? When I myself am not, who cares about the world or about God? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Since I am there, I am concerned about the ashram. I am concerned about the temple. I am concerned. When I am not here, who cares? That is the thing. Everywhere I am the hero. I am everything. Ahankara is everything actually. When this ahankara is found to be nothing, there is nothing. This is the truth. See, this is revelation. When I am not there, how does it matter whatever is there or whatever is not there? See? So therefore, when I dies, what remains is the self alone. Then Swamiji, how these Mahatmas are able to relate to the world? You only say everything goes, everything goes. Angada or catch actually. And the catch explain panna mudiyadhu. We cannot explain that catch. You cannot understand the catch. That should hit, you should realize it. The catch is, everything is there, but not as we see, as we understand. That is the thing. See, angadhan the catch here. Yes, the mountains are mountains, rivers are rivers, sky is sky, people are people, I am I. Everything remains the same, but not the same. How? You should go and see there. That is why our Acharya again and again hammers, somehow the sense of otherness is gone. The Bheda Bhavanam, meaning I am something else, you are something else, is gone. And the sense of separateness between different objects or different things, gone. How? Don't howl. Why? Don't wail. Just seek the source and find out yourself. With the ego self, you cannot understand, you cannot find out. This is the trick, this is the secret of the trade. எப்படி சுவாமி எல்லாம் இருக்குங்கிறீங்க அப்புறம் ஒன்றுமே இருக்காதுங்கிறீங்க? What are you trying to say now? Not as we think now, not as we take it now, not as we experience as it is now. Everything is there, but nothing is. This is the secret. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. In the 9th chapter of Gita, it is titled as Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. It is a royal knowledge and royal secret. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. So, when all this is rejected, whatever remains is the self. From the self standpoint, when the ego self is not there, it is not bound, means it is not there, so it is not bound. It is totally free. Then it can enjoy everything as its own self. And there is bliss only. And pure love and compassion only. For whom you should not ask. Because only there you go and see for what, for whom and all you will understand. And the life is transformed once and for all. So this is what is explained in all these shlokas. Now, moving on. Yatra bhrantya kalpidam tadviveke Tattanmatram naiva tasmat vibhinnam. 253. Are you searching for the words? Different tune, huh? Yatra bhrantya kalpitam tadviveke illaya. Tattan matram naiva tasmat vibhinnam. Tattan matram illaya. Yattan matram. Tattan matram only is here. Chinmaya book tattan matram. So both the reading is okay. Yatra bhrantya kalpitam tadviveke. Tattan matram naiva tasmat vibhinnam. Swapne nashtam swapna vishvam vichitram. Swasmat bhinnam kinnu dhrishtam prabhode. Yatra, where bhrantya kalpidam, whatever is imagined out of delusion. Bhrantya means delusion. Kalpitam, whatever is imagined out of delusion. Tad viveke, when you discriminate, tattan matram naeva tasmat vibhinnam. Tattan matram means what? Whatever is actually is alone remains, and never ever it is something different from whatever is. For example, if there is the snake on the rope, so out of delusion you have imagined it. Is that not so? But when you inquire, tad viveke, when you use your discrimination, tattan matram, what happens? Whatever is alone remains. What remains? Rope alone remains. Where is the snake vision gone? Gone. Once forever. Tasmat bhinnam. Na eva tasmat bhinnam. Vibhinnam. Meaning what? There is nothing separate or other than the rope. Only rope remains. And here the example is taken as the swapna. Swapne nashtam. Swapna vishvam vichitram. Swasmat bhinnam kinnu. Bhinnam kinnu is a question asked. See, when the dream is over, when you wake up, then what you understand? All that you have seen is not other than the mind. Only the mind. Everything is mind only. Mind alone was functioning there. Is there anything bhinna means other than the mind in the dream? Nothing. Similarly, prabodhe, when you wake up to the higher self, you will find everything to be the self only. Nothing other than the self. You get the point? Because you are deluded, somehow you are sleeping, and then the mind starts its cinema. So it starts projecting, and you are also there in the projection. Please remember always this. You are also there in the projection. And so many experiences you gain. And while you are seeing, you are really troubled, and we are sweating, panting, everything. When Viveka, Adapoda, everything is just minds. Nothing other than the mind. Is it not so? Similarly, prabodhe, when you wake up, all this is just the self and nothing other than the self. This is what you realize. Or you will realize once again everything is minds, and mind is just a ghost, a phantom. You know what is phantom? Phantom means you imagine it to be there. Actually, ghosts are also there. In the world, ghosts are there. All the ghosts are not imagined, like all the snakes are not ropes. But phantom means your own imagination of a ghost, sort of thing. So, this mind is only just a imagination that you realize. So, ultimately what you realize is there is nothing other than the self. Everything is self alone. So, Paranga, we have been listening to this scripture for how many days now? 18, 19 days. Tirumba, what he is saying? Pavam, he is saying the same, na? Different words he is using, different meters, whatever, he is saying the same thing. ஆனால் இந்த மரமண்டைக்கு ஏறவே மாட்டேங்குது. Our mind is so gross, nothing is going in. அப்பா எவ்வளோ நல்லா சொல்கிறார் ஆதி சங்கரர். சுவாமிஜி ரொம்ப அற்புதமாக எடுத்து விளக்குறார். That is all fine. What you have got? இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் புரியல சுவாமிஜி. கொஞ்சம் தான் புரியலையா? இல்லை ரொம்பவே புரியலை. Not able to understand. Because it is so subtle. And also, the very basis is shaken now. See, our life revolves around what? I am there, my properties I have accumulated all through my life, my wealth, and my relationships, my wife, children, my amma, appa, friends, my entertainment, my hobbies. This is how we have built our lives. And then after retirement plan, so investments, the future, this is how we have planned our life. The very basis is shaken. If you are standing on a carpet, the very carpet is taken away. So that is why it is very difficult. When it is said dream is just a dream, nothing, it doesn't matter. Similarly, if it is said the world, this waking world doesn't matter, how come you say that? It matters for me. If somebody very close to you, if they just die away, is it okay? Can you take it? You can't. So much we have invested in them. See, this is the right word. So much we have invested in them emotionally, otherwise also. It's not easy. Dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangasteshu upajayate. This is the right word. We have invested in them so much. That is why there is so much of attachment. The other children, they are walking around, we have not invested anything on them. Invested means what? Not money, I mean. Our emotions, love and affection. Everything we have invested. Invest means we have showered so much. That is why this attachment. So, we are shaken. As long as it's happening somewhere, it's okay. The war in the Gaza, all the children are hungry, starving, dying. You study in the paper, pavam. Avladhaan your reaction, pavam. But when it happens in your next state, then we are troubled. Why? It may come to us also. Something happens to the next door, we are seriously concerned. Why we are seriously concerned? Yeah. So when it comes to us, it is very difficult to accept it. So this waking world, if somebody is saying everything is unreal, it's very difficult to accept because we have taken it to be so real. I told you, lot many people tell me, Swamiji, for me first is my family, then only everything else. And then only God, or then only everything else. Study of scriptures, everything, because that is what I am. People say, I am not talking about you. People say, for me everything is that. That is how they are so attached to it, because they don't know anything else except that. That is how they are invested in it. But when that is shaken, they break. So therefore, when the waking world is questioned and said this is also like a dream, there is nothing to take seriously, and the self alone is real, it is very hard to digest. That is what is said. Swapne nashtam, swapna vishwam vichitram, swasmat binnam. Binnam kinnu. When it is destroyed, the swapna world, is it other than the mind? Similarly, other than the person who is dreaming. Similarly, when this waking world is gone, it's not other than the person who is waking, who is a waker. He is essentially what? The self. So the self alone is. So again and again it is explained.
whole body, mind is an object. Or that is everything is self, that is also self.
That is also self. See, the grossness which we associate with anything is not, is kalpitam. See, one more hint I will give you. You think about this. Everything can happen only as knowledge in our consciousness. The knowledge aspect. See, everything can happen only as knowledge in our consciousness. Even if you say body, it's a knowledge in our consciousness. See, there is nothing called as body. There is only, it is knowledge. The knowledge of the body, the knowledge of the chair, the knowledge of the mic, the knowledge of my wife, children. Everything arises as knowledge. In the ocean of knowledge, samudram, jnana samudram, some waves, some bubbles of knowledge arises. That is the worldly idea. So even the knowledge of the body, the knowledge of the world, the knowledge of my teacher, knowledge of the scripture. So everything rises as knowledge only. And that nothing gross or subtle here. Everything is appearing as knowledge only. And you think knowledge of something means it is object. Then further it is broken. There is only knowledge. That is Chit Swarupam, Chinmayam. That is how it is. When you further deeply dwell, there is nothing called as gross or subtle. See, in the Bhutakasha, in the physical world, then there is physical object. In the mental world, Chittakasha, there are thoughts and ideas. That is the images. But in the Chidakasha, only Chit Swarupam. Actually, there is only Chidakasha. And the Chittakasha, the mind space and the physical space are all imagined. It is all not there. This you will know when you know the self.
The knowledge is also finite.
That's what? The knowledge of something is finite. But without knowledge, there is no knowledge of something. Therefore, whatever comes out of mud is mud only. Mud pot is also mud only. Whatever comes out of knowledge is knowledge only. So knowledge alone is. Knowledge of something is only chuma. But knowledge alone is.
In deep sleep?
In deep sleep also the self is. The pure knowledge of self is.
Pure knowledge?
Yes.
We recollect it later.
But the knowledge is pure knowledge as the self is.
Without object.
Yeah.
Body, mind.
Yes. Yes. So that is how it is said. Yasmat bhinam kinnu dushtam prabhode. So here the question is, when you are awake, then do you see anything other than the mind? Meaning in the dream, mind was only playing. Nothing is seen other than the mind. See, when you see the snake vision, when you know the truth, is there anything other than the rope? Only rope is there, not anything else. So something like that. Now, having said that, now moving on. Here, now whatever shlokas are going to follow is for contemplation. Right? And Gurudev says here, see what Gurudev says, I will read out. From this verse onwards for 10 verses, there are ideas to help the meditator at a seat of contemplation. You would do well to learn them by heart and employ them consciously for reflection and daily contemplation. So he says from here 10 verses to be by heart, to be memorized. And then it will be useful for the contemplation, he says, in your seat of meditation. And most beautiful pointers to the self, to the Brahma Tattvam. Jati niti kula gotra durakam Nama rupa guna dosha varjitam Desha kala vishayati vartiyad Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Next 10 verses are going to end with Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Jati niti kula gotra durakam. Nama rupa guna dosha varjitam. Desha kala vishayati vartiyad. Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. Yat Brahma, whatever is that Brahma tattvam, tat, that, tvamasi, that you are that, bhavayatmani, meditate in you, that Brahma is my own self, bhavaya, you meditate on that. You know, for this bhavaya, the bhavana, Gurudev has given a beautiful commentary. What is this bhavana? I will read out. I will read out, it is very beautiful. Just as understanding, jnana is a function of the intellect, and feeling, bhakti is a function of the mind, contemplation, bhavana, is a function of the heart. Since the heart is a combination of the mind and the intellect, its function too must be combination of the two. Therefore, please listen carefully. Contemplation is feeling fully what you have understood and understanding fully what you have felt. Feeling full understanding or understandingly feeling is bhavana or contemplation. Not merely understand the sacred text, which any professor can, and not merely feel, which any, pure blind man can, but within yourself try to feel what you have understood and to understand what your own strange feelings confirm. Thus contemplate, constantly meditate in your heart that Brahman I am. You understand what he's saying? So, mechanically, if you just chant this mantra without feeling, it has no meaning. And if you're so emotional about it, oh, I am Brahman, oh, how wonderful, it makes no sense, you know. If you're very emotional about Brahman, some people are very emotional. If you're very emotional, it has no meaning. So the head and the heart combined, that is called as the head and means the head means which can think, mind means which can feel. The combination is the heart, he says. So these verses, though you have to contemplate, means though you have to think about it, you have to also feel, he says. That is called as bhavana, he says, contemplation. Bhavana means contemplation. So the both together, you appreciate the idea intellectually and also really feel for it with your emotions. That is what is contemplation, he says. So jnana and bhakti together. That's what he means here. Otherwise you become a dry lip Vedanti. You understand? So so what is this Brahma? This Brahma is explained beautifully. Jati, niti, kula, gotra, dhuragam. It is far, far away from what? Jati, these caste systems. And niti means different sort of dharma associated with that. Kula means in which kula you are born, which family you are born. And gotram, the lineage. They say, no, I belong to that parampara, that rishi parampara. That gotram I am. Gotram means that lineage. So, Brahman cannot be defined in such terms. All these ideas come only with respect to the body. In which kula it is born, what lineage it belongs to, and who is the mother, who is the father. All this belongs to the body and the personality. But Brahman is far, far beyond all this. So if you are sincere seeker of Brahman, you should not get entangled into all these things. But the great masters, traditional masters say, in Vyavahara it has got some place in it. But beyond that, it has no meaning. So Brahman is far beyond Jati Niti Kula Gotra Durakam Nama Rupa Guna Dosha Varjitam. And it has no Nama Rupa. It is Arupa we have studied, na? And Anakhya we have studied yesterday. No name. You cannot call it by any name. So Nama Rupa Guna also is not there. Guna means no qualities. The Brahman romba nallama, romba nallada, the romba kettada. They say, na, God is always very good. God is bad. God is compassionate. So he has no qualities as such. So all these are dosham only. So what is that? Nama, Rupa, Guna, Dosha, Vajjita. And dosha means you cannot find fault. No dosham in it. He is far beyond all these ideas. Desha, Kala, Vishayati, Vartiyat. Meaning what? Desha, Kala means space, time. Vishaya, objects. It is beyond. Vishayati, Vartiyat means it is above or beyond all these things. So in Brahman, there is no north, south, east, west. There is no space.
One question.
Yes.
In Saguna Ishvara, Maya is along with Brahman. And the Guna comes.
Yeah, Saguna Ishvara Guna is there.
Where is that Maya coming? Because it's the aspect of Brahman.
Maya is not there.
Maya doesn't exist. It's ignorance.
Because in the relative standpoint, we say there is Maya. That is true also. But when you go there, there is no Maya. You cannot ask from where Maya has come. Maya is his own power said. But while you were not attending the class, about talking about Maya, he says Anirvachaniyam. You cannot say anything about Maya. Whether it is not there. Huh? Yeah, that is all true. But ultimately, if you talk from where the Maya has come, how the Maya can wield the Jiva and all, there is no answer to it. That's what. So, Desha Kala Vishayadi Vartiyad means it is beyond space, time and objects. So, that is Brahman. Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. That Brahman is my own self, true self. Thus, you meditate in your heart. How beautiful. Once again, we will chant this. Jati Niti Kula Gotra Durakam Nama Rupa Guna Dosha Varjitam Desha Kala Vishayati Vartiyat Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Next verse. Yat param sakala vaga gocharam gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha shuddha chit ganamanadi vastu yad Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani Yat param sakala vaga gocharam gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha shuddha chit ghanamanadi vastu yad Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. See, what a poem and what idea contained in it. Adi Shankara must be Shiva himself only, na? Because how beautiful, how chaste these ideas, how beautifully put. Yat param sakala vag agocharam. This supreme truth is beyond all speech. Vag agocharam. It cannot be conveyed, expressed through speech because it cannot be imagined through mind. The idea is it cannot be imagined through mind, therefore it cannot be put in words. Vag agocharam. But gocharam, it can be apprehended by what? Vimala bodha chakshusha. Vimala means pure. Bodha chakshusha, eye of knowledge. Intuitively it can be known, not as an object, not through sense organs or mind. But see how beautifully it is put. Vimala bodha chakshusha. That is why Bhagavan Ramana says, Arivam vili tiravai nisam arivai. Adu veliyam. Arivam vili tiravai. Open the eye of knowledge, he says. Nisam arivai, you will know the truth. So here what? Vimala bodha chakshusha. Bodha chakshu. So the eye of knowledge through eye of knowledge, which is pure, bodha, amala bodha chakshushaha. Intuitively you know this. Not as an object, not as a thought, but intuitively, with the eye of knowledge, this is known. How beautiful. Vimala bodha chakshushaha. Gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha. Shuddha chit ghanam. What is this? Shuddha chit ghanam. This is a pure mass of consciousness. Nothing other than the consciousness exists in it. Therefore, it is called as mass of consciousness. Chit ghanam. Anadi vastu yad. It is beginningless. Anadi. Meaning always present, eternal. That is Tat Brahma. That is that which is denoted by the Tat Padam. That is Brahma. Tvamasi. You are that. Bhavaya Atmani. Thus you contemplate in your heart.
How do you translate chit?
So, mass of consciousness. See, when it's translated into English, it is mass of consciousness. But you know what? What masters explain. See, suppose if you take your dhoti or something, there can be some space in between. No? Some space. See, this is made of cotton thread. So there can be some sort of gaps.
Defect.
Not defect, gaps. That means very minor gap sort of thing. All those things can be there. Between the threads and very minute. Ghanam means nothing of that sort. It alone is. And the Madhuri they explain. There is nothing other than it. And it is Ghanam means nothing except it. Except it, nothing. And the solid Swarna mind will make a ball out of it. Solid ball out of it. The problem is whatever is used, immediately the mind will make a concept, right? So these are all pointers. Chit Ghanam. So mass of consciousness. Anadhivastviyad. So which is beginningless. So Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Thus you meditate in your heart. So we can go on and on like this, but you know, I want to give a break now to you people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. See, our idea is to take at least 5 verses in this late morning class. Okay, we will stop here. Om Purnamadha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Since I have